countries that start with B. Which ones are you thinking of? Okay, try to have your 5 in 3, 2, 1. The 5 I'm thinking of are Brazil, Bangladesh, Belgium, Belize, and Bulgaria. But there were a lot. Question number 5. We're gonna switch up a little bit, and this time I want you to think of song titles that contain the word love. Song titles that contain the word love. There are probably infinite song titles that contain love, but I want you to think of 4. I want you to think of 4 of them. Love, 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 love. Hopefully the rain outside is relaxing. Okay. Have you thought of 4 of them? Do you have 4? I'll reveal my 4 in 3, 2, 1. I thought of Can't Help Falling in Love, Love Yourself, Love Shack, and I Will Always Love You. Moving on to question number 6. Number 6, I would like you to think of kinds of nut. Kinds of nut, like the ones that you eat. And I want you to try to think of 8 of them. 8 different kinds of nut. 8 nuts. Nut. I'm sorry if you're allergic to nuts. Hopefully you still know your nuts. Have you thought of 8 of them? 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of walnuts, peanuts, pecans, pine nuts, cashews, macadamia nuts, almonds, and hazelnuts. Definitely more out there. Question number 7 today. I would like you to think of colors that start with the letter P. P as in Pamela. And I want you to try to think of 3 of them. 3 colors that start with the letter P as in Pamela. Can you think of 3? I'll just give you 3, 2, 1. I thought of pink, purple, and periwinkle. Pink, purple, periwinkle. Question number 8. I want you to think of Summer Olympic sports. Sports in the Summer Olympics, and I want you to try to think of 6 of them. 6 Summer Olympic sports. 6 of them. We had the Summer Olympics not too long ago, so. Okay. Do you have your 6? 6 sports. 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of swimming, gymnastics, tennis, volleyball, diving, and next question in 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of Avatar, Titanic, Inception, Frozen, and Casablanca. There are so many though. You could have said so many different things, but let me know if you got any of the same ones as me. Question number 10 now. I would like you to think of dog breeds. Think of as many dog breeds as you can. Your target is 7 of them. 7 different dog breeds. 7 dog breeds. Again, there are so many more than 7. I hope this one's fairly easy, so we'll move on in 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of German Shepherd, Poodle, Corgi, Bulldog, Husky, Beagle, and Dachshund. Moving on to question number 11. I want you to think of fast food burger places. Burger fast food joints. And I'd like you to think of 5 of them. 5 fast food burger places. These might be totally different in your country than in mine. So maybe you'll get completely different answers. I'm sure you're still correct. Just try to think of 5 fast food places to get a burger. Honestly, maybe they're the same as they are here because burgers are kind of American, so similar fast food places. Am I thinking about that correctly? I don't know. Okay. 3, 2, 1. The 5 burger places I thought of are Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, Culver's, and Shake Shack. There are definitely more. Question number 12. I want you to think of things that are green. Things that are green. You could name things that are in your room, or you could name universal things that are green. I want you to try to think of 6. 6 things that are green. I'm sure you could probably think of more. Especially with all of the vegetables out there. Think of things that are green. That are green. Okay. We'll move on in 3, 2, 1. I thought of grass, a frog, an avocado, celery, emerald, and jade. Maybe you thought of those. Question number 13. I'd like you to think of ways to cook an egg. Different ways to cook eggs, and I want you to think of 5. 5 different ways that you could cook or eat eggs. Think of 5 ways. I'll give you 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of poached, over easy, sunny side up, scrambled, and hard boiled. Question number 14. I want you to think of shapes that have 4 sides. I know everybody says it sounds like I'm saying sheep, like person that doesn't know anything about makeup, I'm sorry, but just try your best. I'm sure you can think of a few. There are way more than 7, so. Can you think of some makeup products? Makeup products. I will give you 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of concealer, eyeliner, mascara, eyeshadow, highlighter, blush, and lipstick. Question number 16. I would now like you to think of cities that start with the letter B. B as in boy. There are so many. I'd like you to think of 6 of them. If you can try to think of 6 different cities that start with the letter B. 6 different cities. It might take a second to kind of go through the cities. I know some of the questions are kind of like, if you can't think of it right away, you're probably not going to, and others, it's like you might need a second to think through all the ones you know. So I'll give you a second. At least 6 cities that start with B. I'll give you 3, 2, 1. The ones I thought of are Berlin, Bangkok, Boston, Beijing, Brisbane, and Barcelona. You could have thought of so many. Question number 17. I want you now to think of 4-letter animals. So animals that are spelled with 4 letters. And I want you to try to think of 5 of them. 5 animals that have 4 letters. How many can you think of? There are a lot more than I thought of. I can tell you which ones I thought of in 3, 2, 1. I was thinking of frog, wolf, duck, goat, and lion. Question number 18. Now I would like you to think of body parts that start with the letter L. Body parts that start with L. And I want you to think of 4 of them. Body parts that start with L. necessarily everywhere. Any gender neutral names you can think of. I will give you five of them. Five. You have 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of Taylor, Carson, Avery, Riley, and Jordan. 5 gender neutral names. One fact is that one of those is my middle name. Which one? I'm not going to tell you, but you can guess. Question number 25. 25, I want you to think of types of flour. Not baking flour, but pretty bouquet flowers. And I want you to try to think of seven different types of flour. You can name 7 different types of baking flour if that's what you want to do. You know, this is kind of a choose your own adventure type video, so go for it. Can you think of seven types of flour? Flour. Okay. 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of rose, tulip, orchid, daisy, sunflower, daffodil, and iris. You could have thought of lots of other ones, though. Question number 26. 26. I would now like you to think of chemical elements that start with the letter S. Chemical elements that start with S, and I just want you to think of 3. I know chemical elements might not be everybody's cup of tea or specialty, so I just want you to try to think of 3 of them. Or you can think of more if chemical elements are your thing. Okay. Give you 3, 2, 1. The 3 that I thought of are sodium, silicon, and sulfur. Question number 27 is fun. I want you to think of famous Johns. Famous people named John something. See if you can think of 4 of them. 4 different famous Johns. There are probably different people that are famous in your country versus mine. But whoever you can think of who's famous, whose name is John. I'll give you 4 of mine. How many famous Johns can you come up with? Famous Johns. Okay. I'll give you 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of John Legend, John Lennon, John Travolta, and John Wayne. Maybe you thought of those, maybe you thought of different ones. actually said a lot of them when I did the Summer Olympic sports at the beginning. So, maybe you remember those. I'll give you 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of swimming, skiing, cycling, gymnastics, fencing, and badminton. Question number 34. I would like you to think of words that both start and end with T. They have to start with a T and end with a T. And I would just like you to think of 4. 4 of them. Words that start and end with a T. Start and end with T. Are you thinking of some? Okay, we'll move on to our next question. 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of talent, ticket, tactic, and treat. Question number 35. 35. I want you to think of girls' names that start with the letter S. Girls' names that start with S, and I want you to try to think of 5 of them. 5 girls' names that start with S. Shouldn't be too hard, but I will give you 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of Sarah, Samantha, Stella, Stephanie, and Sally. Question number 36. I want you to think of fruits that are red. Fruits that are red, and I want you to try to think of 6 of them. 6 different red fruits. Might sound like a lot, but once again, I think you can do it. I believe in you, that guys can't hear what I'm doing. I don't really like mic sounds. Like, I find it kind of annoying, and like I can't listen to the whispering, so I just do it, first of all, to keep myself busy, and second of all, for the visual triggers. But no, I'm not trying to make noise. I'm trying not to make noise. Okay. Do you have 4 words that end with O? 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of avocado, banjo, also, and 0. Did you think of any of those? Question number 41. I now want you to think of social media apps. Any social media apps, and I would like you to think of 8 of them. I know it's pretty easy to think of 3 or 4 or 5, but can you think of 8 different social media apps? 8 social media apps. The rain is kind of picking up, so hopefully it's relaxing, not annoying. Can you think of 8? 8. I'll give you 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Reddit, LinkedIn, Letterboxd, Discord, and TikTok. Question number 42. I now want you to think of animals that start with the letter W. W. Animals. Animals that start with W. W, W, W. Oh, and I would like you to think of 4. 4 or more. 4 W animals. Okay. You have another 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of whale, walrus, woodpecker, and wasp. Question number 43. I now want you to think of 2-word cities. So cities that have 2 words in their name. And I want you to see if you can think of 5. 5 of them that have 2 words. Five 2-word cities. Okay. Maybe you live in one. Okay. I will give you 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of Los Angeles, Sao Paulo, Hong Kong, Buenos Aires, and Cape Town. There are a bunch, though. Question number 44. I now want you to think of famous Jennifers. So famous people named Jennifer. And I only need you to think of 3. See if you can think of 3 famous people named Jennifer. Jennifers. boysenberry. Question number 47. I now want you to think of things that are orange. Things that are orange. Could be things in your room. Could be things that are universally orange. I'd like you to think of five things out there that are orange. Five things. I will give you another 3, 2, 1. The 5 things I thought of are a traffic cone, a pumpkin, a monarch butterfly, a carrot, and a clownfish. Question number 48. I want you to think of boys' names that start with the letter R and see if you can think of 5 boys or men's names that start with the letter R. Literally don't know which way is right for you guys, but you get it. 5 boys' names. 5 boys' names. You have 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking of Robert, Roger, Ryan, Raymond, and Russell. Question number 49. 49, which one do we want to do for 49? I would like you to think of types of pie. Types of pie. And I want you to think of 8 of them. See if you can think of 8 different types of pie. Yes, you can really make anything into a pie if you want to, so you can't really be wrong. But think of as many different types of pie.